This 17 News at Noon podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Noon podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Well, good day. I'm Elena Rusk. Now to an update on a story we brought you yesterday. A teenager in critical condition after being hit by a car in Northwest Bakersfield. It happened about 6:10 a.m. at the intersection of Allen and Brimhall Roads when Bakersfield police say a teenage girl was crossing the road against a red light when she was hit by a car that investigators say had the green light. She was taken to the hospital with major injuries. Police say the driver stayed on the scene and is cooperating with this investigation. And now up to our state capitol, as California Governor Gavin Newsom signed a number of bills into law that come into effect at the start of the new year. So in just a couple of weeks in 2023, changes are coming to laws governing traffic, official holidays, and more. We wanted to take a look at a few of these for you, including jaywalking, which now becomes legal on January 1st. The law had required pedestrians to stay in crosswalks at intersections. Now, people will not be ticketed unless a, quote, reasonably careful person would realize there is an immediate danger of collision with a moving vehicle. Sheriff Donny Youngblood stopped by Sunrise this morning for an interview with Maddie Jansen, sharing his opinion on the change in this jaywalking law, considering so many pedestrians are hit and killed on Kern County roads.
It happens every day in our county. What are our leaders thinking? We should expect more. We should demand more from our government.
What needs to be done then?
Well, certainly you don't legalize crossing in jaywalking, because here's what's going to happen. If you hit somebody in their jaywalking, you're now going to have to prove it's not your fault, or because they're going to sue you. This is insane, the direction we're headed, and this has to change.
Another law going into effect January 1st. Previous California law requiring vehicles to maintain 3 feet of distance when passing bicycles heading in the same direction will now be required to move into another lane if it's safe to do so and is not prohibited by law. Also, there will be a new feather alert system. It will be similar to Amber alerts, but it will be for Indigenous people who have gone missing under unexplained or suspicious circumstances. Like Amber Alerts, the Feather Alert will operate through the CHP. Measure K, a 1-cent sales tax for unincorporated Kern County, passed in the midterm election. It's expected to generate approximately $54 million annually to maintain essential local services such as law enforcement, fire, and medical emergency 911 response. This morning on 17 News at Sunrise, Sheriff Donny Youngblood stopped by to chat with Maddie Jansen about what this means for building back his department and filling the more than 400 employees they need to hire.
We got rid of our school resource officers, we got rid of our gang unit, we got rid of our Ridgecrest jail, our substations are no longer, they're about 50% staff. We have a lot of work to do once we get staff starting to come into the organization.
The sheriff pointed out they won't start collecting the tax until April 1st, and then it will take another year before that total $54 million is collected, but they are already looking at ways to spend it.
Hello, this is Tim Callahan with Clinica Sierra Vista, and we're excited to unveil the Community Health Center of the Future, our comprehensive care center. It's located right across the street from Memorial Hospital. We have every service under one roof, from family medicine, OBGYN care, dental services for adults and children, behavioral health, and much more. So find your way to better care at Clinica Sierra Vista this year at our comprehensive care center. Visit our website, clinicasierravista.org, for the latest on this project. We'll see you soon.
Bakersfield has a new city council today, with 4 council members taking the oath of office yesterday after emerging victorious from the midterm. There are 3 familiar faces. The 4th is breaking barriers. 17's Robert Price has their stories.
A packed house was on hand at Bakersfield City Hall Wednesday night, many of them Punjabi Sikhs, for the swearing in of one of their own. Manpreet Kaur, the first Punjabi Sikh on the Bakersfield City Council, took the oath of office alongside 2 colleagues. Kaur, just 29 years old and 6 months out of grad school, is the new Ward 7 City Council representative. Having won 54% of the vote in a 3-person race last month. The daughter of immigrants from the state of Punjab, northern India, benefited from a redrawn post-census map that gave the South Bakersfield Council ward a larger share of residents of Indian descent, which between 1980 and 2020 increased in California by a factor of 15. Kaur, born and raised in Bakersfield and a graduate of Ridgeview High School, plans to put her master's degree in urban and regional planning to good use.
I felt like I really learned the practical tools of decision making, of small but significant things that really make a difference in the quality of life for people.
Among her sources of inspiration,
one evening my dad comes and says, you know, what do you want to be when you grow up? What are your big dreams? And I'm like, I don't know, Dad. And he's like, you could be the President of the United States if you wanted. He's like, you could even write a letter to the President of the United States. That's how great this country is. That's what kind of country this is. And the President will write you back. And I just didn't believe him. That was a really big affirmation for me. My dad was right.
Kaur wasn't necessarily planning to run for office. She figured she'd become an urban planner. But then Chris Parlier, Ward 7's well-liked city council representative, citing health issues, announced he'd complete his term and then step away. She jumped at the unexpected opportunity to serve the neighborhoods she grew up in.
I feel I'm a product of Ward 7, having been born and raised here, growing up here, attending the public schools. I want to champion those experiences and join, the city council members who are thinking about our city progressively and thinking about, how we're moving forward. But also I bring the perspective of being a woman of color and being the only woman of color on that city council.
Also taking the oath Wednesday night were two council members who won re-election unopposed. Ward 4's Bob Smith and Ward 1's Eric Arias, who at 26 remains the council's youngest member. Ward 3's Ken Weir, who won re-election with 49% in a four-person race, was to have been sworn in on Wednesday. Political leaders at the national level might be up there in years, but the Bakersfield City Council, with Arias, Kaur, and Andre Gonzalez on the dais, seems to be in the middle of a decided youth movement. In Bakersfield, Robert Price, 17 News.
And now to the latest from Capitol Hill. The House has passed a stopgap funding bill to avoid a government shutdown tomorrow. The bill passed Wednesday night by a vote of 224 to 201, mainly along party lines, and buys lawmakers some extra time to hammer out a spending package to cover the full fiscal year. The temporary funding package will continue cash flow through December 23rd, next Friday, giving negotiators an extra week to finalize their $1.7 trillion government spending deal. The Senate is expected to approve this extension today before it then goes to President Biden for his signature. And the bipartisan bid to ban TikTok has reached a new level. The Senate has voted to bar federal employees from using the hugely popular social media app on government-owned devices. This is coming as North Dakota and Iowa have also joined a growing number of states increasing their own bans. TikTok has 80 to 90 million users here in the U.S., but its Chinese connections have some security experts fearing Beijing could use TikTok data to spy on Americans. Now to the coronavirus. The Biden administration again making some free COVID-19 tests available to all U.S. households as it unveils the contingency plans for potential coronavirus surges this winter. After a 3-month hiatus, the administration is making 4 rapid virus tests available through the website covidtests.gov starting today. A senior Biden administration official discussed the program on condition of anonymity. COVID-19 cases have shown a marked increase after the Thanksgiving holiday. Further coronavirus case increases are projected from indoor gathering and travel around Christmas and New Year's. Now to some other health headlines. U.S. health officials have updated a tool to track rising cases of severe obesity among children who were previously off the chart. Expanded growth charts released today by the CDC now include a body mass index of up to 60. That's up from previous charts that stopped at a BMI of 37. They also expanded additional measures to map severe obesity, which reflects an estimated 4.5 million children and teens here in the U.S. Rates of severe obesity among kids have nearly quadrupled in recent decades. The CDC charts are the most widely used tool in the U.S. to track growth and development in children. Well, in 17 business news, after hearing reports that major retailers like Amazon had record Black Friday sales this year, a new report shows consumers actually pulled back on their spending in November, failing to keep up with even a muted level of inflation last month. That's according to the Commerce Department today, which reported retail sales declined by 0.6% last month, lower than the 0.3% drop estimated by the Dow Jones, and coming up after a sharp 1.3% rise in the previous month. The pullback was widespread across retail categories, including furniture, electronics, and home and garden stores, with sales plunging for auto dealers, sporting goods stores, and general merchandise stores. Online sales did also decrease, according to this report, falling 0.9%. Also down, the number of first-time claims for unemployment benefits. According to the U.S. Department of Labor, the advance figure for seasonally adjusted initial claims was 211,000 last week. That's a decrease of about 20,000 from the previous week's total and the lowest level since September. Analysts say weekly jobless claims are particularly volatile during the holidays. But check this out, the price of orange juice, that's on the rise. Prices up 7% this year. The U.S. Department of Agriculture predicting the worst orange crop harvest since World War II. The agency forecasts Florida will produce only 20 million boxes of citrus for the 22-23 season, but that would be down 51% compared to last year. They're calling greening disease, rising labor costs, and extreme weather the factors that are playing a part in the drop in production.
The 17 News at Noon podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.